Hello there, welcome back to Property Kings. Our guest today is Ranjan Bhattacharya, and this is the man who has become one of the most sought-after speakers about property investment, and I really want to talk to you about that. But first, let's just analyse the rest of your tips. We've done select your patch, make sure you're close to where you're investing. Get the knowledge, make sure you know what's going on. Don't just rely on estate agents to get property deals was number 3. What do you mean by that?
I think when people buy their own home, the first port of call is the estate agent.
Yes, naturally.
And I think when people look at investment property, there's a tendency to just replicate the same actions they took when they bought their own property. But it's not really like that. I feel it's completely different. And, it's when you're in the property business, you want to find property deals.
Yes.
You want to find good
And is
deals.
the estate agent not the best person to go to first, not your first port of call?
Well, I'm not saying you won't find property deals at the estate agent.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is it can be a very lengthy process. Walking up and down the high street, having cups of tea and chatting to people, if they'll listen, is a very time-consuming way of getting property. Far better is to put in place marketing systems to get sellers of property to ring you. And if you can get your phone to ring...
How do you do that? How can you possibly create a situation where you, initially as the buyer, have people calling you?
Well, it's just using the same sort of techniques that estate agents use to get sellers. I mean, what do estate agents do when they want to attract sellers to list their properties with them? They push out leaflets. We've all received leaflets through our door. We've sold a property in your street. We can sell yours today. They advertise in the paper. They use the internet. So as buyers of property, if we put in place similar marketing
So we're taking
systems,
the role of the estate agent.
exactly, but buying the property directly. But more importantly, getting our phone to ring. If you get one seller to call you a day, you'll get deals out of that. And if you're looking at, a lot of people say to me, well, I don't seem to be seeing any bargains or whatever. And then the next question I ask is, how many properties have you seen? If you've only seen 3, it's not statistically going to happen.
No.
But if you see 20, things will happen.
The chances are that you will get that
Absolutely.
call. Okay.
Absolutely.
Number 4, remember you're in the property business.
Yes. I suppose, property business is just the same as every other business. In any business, you take a raw material, which you get at a wholesale price, you do something to it, and you're looking to extract a retail value out of it. It really is as simple as that. So when you have that mindset...
and is it attitude? Is it purely down to attitude? To this is not my home, this is not an emotional attachment, this is business.
Yes. And, when I buy my own home, when we moved house, I'm as flaky and as emotional as the next guy, because all the usual stuff comes into play. But when it's an investment property, it really is the figures, it really is business, and you're not going to pay retail money for an investment property.
But where can you learn all of this, Ranjan?
Well, I've produced, really when I started, I figured a lot of this out on my own, and it took me years to do that. And I've put everything I've done and tried to systemize it so that people can really copy it. And I've put that in a home study course. And we've put together a home study course and a piece of software as well, because one of the things I believe is what makes a good property deal is the figures. And if the figures stack up, if the numbers are right, then it's worth doing. So the way I analyze deals, I've put it into a software package. So people can just type in the numbers from the deals that they're looking at, and it will actually sort of tell you what the issues are.
But that's very magnanimous of you. However, are you not giving away your business then to other people? Giving them your secrets? Allowing them to become you?
There's more than enough out there. The thing about property is there are people, even in the postcodes where I buy, there's more than enough there. And and I'm quite open with why I do this. Yes,
why do you do it?
Well, what I found is by sharing my knowledge, by getting other people to kind of do what I do.
They pay you a percentage?
No, I'm not after a percentage. What I do is joint venture deals with them. What I do with a lot of the people that have been through my system is when they want to finance their deals, I help them out with that as well, and we do a lot of joint ventures. Because I think in the property business, you quickly learn about leveraging money. Because if you're getting, say, a buy-to-let mortgage, you put down 50% deposit or whatever, you borrow 85% from the bank. But you can also leverage time and people. So, really, by showing people how to do it, they go out and do it. And I help them and joint venture with them. So I'm involved in many more deals than I could do on my own.
You would have been. And you reckon it balances out? That the time and effort that you've put into creating these courses and seminars, that you will get back then more?
Well, it's more than just the money, really. I mean, it's something that I wanted to do, and I do get a lot of pleasure from it. And particularly now, when I have a mentorship program where we take people through a whole year of investing. It's remarkably satisfying to see people make it work. Find bargain properties, buy them often with little or no money down, and starting to build portfolios.
You've become a property guru.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I've just done it and showing people how I did it. That's it, really.
See, I'm fascinated by this area of your life, by the move from property developer to property guru. What was the first of this type that you did? The first seminar, the first brochure that you produced, the first booklet, what?
Well, I suppose it started, again, a little bit by accident. I mean, I was asked by my mortgage broker. My mortgage broker had a stand at one of these big property shows in Docklands. And with their big stand, they get speaking slots. And I was a very big client of theirs, doing quite a few mortgage deals. And the MD of that company said to me, well, we've got speaking slots. It'll be a bit boring if we talk, because all we can say is, well, there's this product and that product.
Yes.
Why don't you come along as a client of ours and talk about investment strategies? So I did that, and I actually got a lot out of it. I found it very... I actually didn't know that I had anything that people were really that interested in.
Oh, believe me, you have, Ranjan.
And I suppose
you have the key. That's what you have.
I suppose it was quite a revelation, really, that what I thought was common sense, people wanted to know. And it all really started from that, and really the home study course that I put together is from speaking at big property shows and things, and all the questions people ask me, and I've put that all in terms of what I did to start in a step-by-step way that people can just replicate.
And as I say, I'm fascinated by Build Your Property Empire, how you can make it big in property in 2006, all of those available because of you. Now, obviously there are tips within. Let's give some tips now on success, on how to maintain that success after you have started in the business of property development. Number one, have passion for what you do. Nothing comes easy. It takes dedication, self-belief, hard work, and that hunger for success. Number two, change your mindset and think wealthy. Can't wait to talk to you about this one. To be wealthy, you must lose the job mindset. You have a maximum of 24 hours in a day, but there's a maximum on the limit of your income. And number three, take action. An idea is no good unless it is implemented. Number four, get a mentor. Avoid pitfalls that they fell into and cash in on the things they did right. Surround yourself with people who are where you want to be or going in the same direction. Okay, number one, passion. Is it a passionate business?
Of course it is. There's so much in property. There's so many different aspects of it that I think most people can find one aspect of property that will float their boat, for want of a better phrase. I think if people want to get into property simply because they hate their day job, and that's the only reason, and I come across people like that, there needs to be something else, and I think that ingredient is passion. It's very, very important, because nothing comes easy. There's no such thing as sit back in your armchair and it will just all happen. There's no magic formula.
It does take that hunger, that dedication, that hard work.
Yes, but I think the secret is that when you have the passion, the hard work doesn't seem so hard. It seems simple and fun.
I think you're right. Number two, change your mindset and think wealthy. Now, what do you mean by think wealthy?
This is something I discovered in the mid-90s, which was that I really firmly believe wealth is a choice. And once you understand that, you can actually create it. When I was in a job, I was paid a salary. My only option for increasing that salary was to snivel to my boss every year on the annual pay round, fill in loads of self-assessment forms and all that sort of stuff. I could get another job, which I'll get a higher salary on, or I can get an evening job or whatever. But all those sources of income are dependent on the hours that I put in a day. And there's a finite amount. But wealth is about getting your income from income-producing assets. And really, there's no limit to the number of income-producing assets that you can set up to generate your income. So when you break the link between the hours in the day as the source of your income and your income coming from sources that are not dependent on the hours in the day, then you realize that really to create wealth, you just create more income generating assets.
That job mindset, that 8-hour day, 40-hour week mindset.
Exactly.
Okay. Take action.
Yes.
Now, so many of us have said we have brilliant ideas.
Yes, absolutely.
We've had ideas all through life, but none of us have done anything about them.
Absolutely. And I've come across this. I mean, I have people on my mentorship program who have been to my seminars at property shows. They've been, I see them at every show. And then they, I mean, they've been doing that for 2 or 3 years without taking action. All the ideas are there, but there's something that stops them from taking action. Okay. But when they do, things happen.
And get a mentor.
I think that's important, because when I started, I was on my own.
Yes.
And I think my progress was relatively slow, because you've always got family. I had family around me and friends around me, relatives. No one was into property. But if you surround yourself with people who are doing it, achieving it,
who've been there, who've made the mistakes,
exactly,
who've got the T-shirts,
exactly, that changes your mindset. You're part of that group. You're not part of a group that's holding you back and saying, it's this, it's that, or you're dodgy or whatever. You're in a group of people who are actually living, breathing it and achieving success.
Ranjan, I could talk to you all day. You're not only a guru, you're an inspiration as well, but unfortunately that's all we've got time for on Property Kings today. Thanks to our special guest, Ranjan Bhattacharya. If you want to find out more about how to become a Property King, or indeed anything else featured in this programme, we have a special free phone number. In the UK, it's 0800 310 1444, or for our Irish viewers, it's 1800 63 50 31. We shall talk to you again very soon. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.